Man, it feels like I haven't recorded on this camera in ages. Hey guys, Mike here from Sell Your Service. Have you ever felt that you've had a close or a sale that's really close, but for whatever reason you just seem to be missing that last final step, and for whatever reason the customer just doesn't seem to buy? Maybe you're already at the proposal stage, or maybe you have yet to send the proposal, you're kind of working through the proposal, or for whatever reason you just feel like the sale is slipping away from you. Even in a meeting, when you're actually talking to the customer, it can sometimes feel like you're this close, but for whatever reason you just can't get the customer over the line. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video, is how to get the customer over the line and what to do when just in your stomach, in your gut, in your bones, you feel like you're losing the sale. It's worth saying, by the way, that it's not just you. It is actually a really common phenomenon to feel like the sale is slipping away from you without knowing the tactical or the technical reason why. Like, we know people don't buy on sales pages because they drop off, but when you're in that conversation, or you're sending emails back and forward, or maybe you're on the phone, or like I said, you're actually in the meeting, why can you not seem to get that person over the line? And it's not you, it's not anything that you're doing wrong. I think it's because we overcomplicate the sales and closing process. So that's what I'm going to help you with today. When you're losing the sale, or that something doesn't seem to be going right, it can be as much as like a gut feeling where you think, this doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Are they ever going to buy? Are they ever going to commit? Is it something I'm doing wrong? And it can make you feel like your offer isn't good enough, or maybe they're kind of secretly objecting when really actually they haven't got anything wrong with it. There's a reason that you haven't basically got them to get over that line, which is essentially sending you a deposit and signing the contract, right? And this can be extremely frustrating when you're not entirely sure what is actually preventing them from getting over the line. As I mentioned, it can be a gut feeling that you think, well, it's just kind of slipping away from me. This can happen in meetings, it can happen on phone calls. It's happened to me live on, webinars and Zoom calls. It's happened during pitches. It's happened during the proposal stage. It's happened during kind of the email communication stage. It can happen at any stage where you just think, something seems to be missing. Why aren't they moving forward? And maybe you feel like you've moved away from the process that you've got. Maybe you've got a bit of a sales process, and for whatever reason, you're now off that sales process. Maybe you move from like qualification to discovery call to proposal to closing and pitching, and you think, well, we're now in like this weird tertiary or quadri meeting, which is kind of not in my process, so I don't really know how to get it back to the point where I basically say to them, look, do you want to buy or not? So this might sound kind of dumb, but this actually isn't necessarily a sales problem, even though I'm a sales coach and this is essentially a sales YouTube channel and my business is called Sell Your Service. Getting the customer over the line to buy might not be a sales problem. And what I mean by that is, most people will assume they have to go back to selling. Most people, when they feel they're losing the sale, assuming there's one key question that you can answer, will go back to selling. And what I mean by that is, if you've handed a proposal over to someone and they know what the offer is, and for whatever reason they're not buying, that's a closing problem, not a sales problem. A sales problem basically means that they don't know whether it makes sense for you two to work together. They don't know what the offer is, and they don't know what the next steps are and what the commitment is required from them. They essentially don't know what the next steps are. A closing problem is that you haven't answered enough objections for them to justify signing on that dotted line and sending you the proposal. I've often said that benefits sell and features close. That's typically the case. As they understand the benefits, they know how emotionally it makes them feel. Maybe they're even ready to buy, but they haven't been given enough justifications or reasons as to why they should buy. And there's one staggeringly obvious feature that you need to explain to your customers in order to get them to sign that dotted line. So the number one rule of all sales is make it easy for the customer to give you money. And this is what I want you to remember throughout the rest of this video. You have to simplify it and make it easy for the customer to give you money. And most of us will think, well, do I have a Stripe integration? Do I have automatic payment profiles? Do I include the payment processor on my proposals? That's way too complex. Does the customer know what the next step is? That's usually, first of all, the first feature that they need to understand. It's a feature being defined as something that can be replaced or used, and they understand is the physical deliverable. Do they understand that they physically have to click that button saying, yes, accept proposal and send you 50%? The amount of times I've asked a customer, okay, do you know what you need to do next? And they've said to me, actually, no, I don't really know how to get started. Right, that's the big roadblock that stood in your way. I remember being sat in a meeting, doing a great pitch, they seemed really engaged, and they were like, right, okay, now what? I was like, oh, well, you know, we'll take you through a discovery process and we'll run through the consultation and then we'll design your website. And they're like, okay, fantastic. And I was like, okay, so don't you want to buy it? And they're like, yeah, we want to buy it. Yeah, we'd love to buy it. I was like, well, okay. If you want to buy it, what's stopping you? And like, well, we don't know what to do next. And I was like, oh, shit. You actually need to click this button saying digitally accept on the proposal and send us a 50% deposit. 9 times out of 10, the reason the customer isn't buying is because they actually don't know how to buy from you. If you are ever in the weird situation where you feel, well, the customer just seems to be getting away from me, the sale seems to be getting away from me, they seem to like it, but for whatever reason it's stalled, ask them, do you know what you need to do next? Or better than that, would you like to get started today? That's my favorite phrase. Would you like to get started today? Yes, fantastic. You need to sign here, click this button to sign this dotted line, whatever, and send over a 50% deposit. 9 times out of 10, that's the reason that a close stalls or that a sale seems to get away from you. I actually think the best piece of advice that I can give to you when you feel like a sale is getting away from you is chill out and have a little bit of fun. The sales process is a game, and it's a really fun game to play when you're playing with the right people. Rather than thinking this is a competition, I have to get the customer to sign, remember that it's a game and have fun with it. Ask them openly and outright, hey, what's stopping you from buying? Or why haven't you signed yet? Or what is going on? I've often sent an email saying, look, are we doing this or not? And it's been kind of, a bit cheeky and maybe a little bit kind of my personality, but people really respond to that. People respond to you having fun, enjoying it, and being busy. If they're the type of person that's kind of umming and ahhing around it and you feel like it's slipping away from you, just ask them directly, hey, are we doing this or not? If you want to go for this, we can help you today. You just have to sign here and send us the deposit. And that kind of brings me on to one of my other points as well, is you have to remember what it is the customer needs to do. You have to be explicitly clear in your mind and even do the whole visualization thing where you think, I need them to click that button to digitally sign it or send a signature or sign it here in front of me and then send over a 50% deposit or a holding deposit or whatever your process is. If you don't know what the next steps are, your customers sure as hell don't know what the next steps are. It might be that they've never bought a process before, they've never bought a marketing system before, they've never bought marketing. It might be that they've never bought anything from a supplier like you before, so they're expecting you to lead their way. Like I said, this is not a sales problem. This is not you going over the offer, and all too often I see people doing that. They try and restate the offer and talk about the benefits again. That's not what is preventing the sale from going ahead. What's preventing the sale from going ahead is understanding physically what do I need to do next. And when you say to them, hey, would you like to get started today? And that's kind of like another point, I'm going off on a tangent here. Ask them, ask for the sale. Hey, do you want to buy? Yes, fantastic, sign here. 9 times out of 10, it's because we haven't asked for the sale. It's staggering to me how many people say, well, this sale's really stalled and I can't really seem to get it going again. The proposal is out there, they say they love it. And I'm like, well, have you tried sending them an email saying, so do you want to get started? So would you like to buy? So can I get started working with you today? They go, yes, great, sign here, send the deposit and we can get started. Sales typically don't stall after the proposal stage because the customer doesn't want it. They typically stall because you haven't closed on them. Remember, it's not a sales process, it's not a sales problem of reiterating the offer, it's a closing problem. Do they know what the next steps are, and are you willing to make that exchange? I've got another video that I talk about like the exchange. That's what the close is that final exchange agreement. That's what you're trying to work towards. So that's my process for closing a customer that seems to be getting away from you. Was that useful? Do you have a question that you like to ask customers? Have you ever ever had a sale or a project just fail to seemingly get off the ground because you haven't asked them what they want to do next? Let me know in the comments below. I've got some free training down below on how to find your first marketing funnel customer. It's totally free training, so you can go ahead and sign up to that down below in the description. In the meantime, if this video is useful and you are a funnel builder, you should go ahead and click subscribe, because I produce new videos every single week helping funnel builders like you attract and close 5-figure marketing funnel deals. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Also share this video if you found it useful. Maybe post it on Facebook. You can click the little share button below. That really helps me out. And hit the thumbs up button or the like button or whatever the fuck they call it on YouTube. Just lets me know that these kinds of topics are useful. In the meantime, I will see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Keep building those funnels. Actually a sales problem. We have to find out. So the number one...